My name is Dennis, and let me just turn on my camera so you can see who I am. Let me change my screen like that, so you should be able to see my screen now. This is the basic course, meaning uh, it is meant for new Shelly users or Shelly users who just does not maybe know too much about Shelly or would like to know a little bit more. We are planning more online trainings, so I also have an advanced session, and the advanced session is already planned for next week. And I'll try to plan these webinars once a month, so we will have both the basic training and also the advanced training every single month. There will probably not be any webinars next month in July because of summer holidays and so on. Then I'm planning a webinar about our fleet management system, which is kind of a local cloud, meaning that some companies, especially larger companies, don't want any cloud solutions. Theoretically, Shelly works 100% offline, but there are some functions which is depending on the cloud, especially if you want some more advanced um, functions or automations. Then we have a solution for that with the fleet management system, which we're working on. And as soon as I have some material ready, I will also launch this webinar. And if you have said yes while you signed up to that, I can contact you. You will automatically get the notification whenever we are ready with these webinars. And then I'm considering whether I should do a training session for some third-party platforms. It could be Home Assistant, Homey, Smart Things, or something different. So I'm right now collecting feedback from the market. If you're interested and what you're interested in, so feel free to give me your feedback in this session or later when it fits you. Good. The agenda for today is that I will give you a short introduction about Shelly, who we are, who's the company behind. I will talk a little bit about what I call the smart home challenge, meaning there's a lot of manufacturers in the market, a lot of technologies, and most of you are professional installers. So you need to give some kind of guarantee, but you also want probably to offer something which is more complete. Some fundamentality about Chile, where we are different compared to others. Something about our connection and communication technologies. I will give you a product overview. I will show you some solutions and use cases, and I will do a live demonstration with the web app. So actually, I would like to show you how my own installation is in my own house, show you how to do grouping, how to do automations, scheduling, heating, cooling controls, etc. So I'll try to show you as much as possible within these 2 hours. I'll give you a brief introduction to our advanced session, so webhooks and scripting. maybe some other stuff, but I will do it very quickly because these topics is something that we will cover more in the advanced session next week. So I hope to see you there as well. I will speak a little bit about third-party integrations. So this is one of our main focuses. We don't want to lock you to any closed system and or anything like that. So you should be able to pick your favorite platform if you don't want to use our app or anything. So we want to offer you this openness, or so to say. And then at the end of the webinar, I will quickly introduce you to a lot of useful links, so where you can find more information and stuff like that. Good. Let's just get started. And again, if you have any questions, just type them in the chat, and I will try to respond to you while under the session. Good. Let's just start. Who is Shelly and who is Altago? So Shelly is the product brand manufactured and developed by Altago. So it's important to say that this is completely developed by ourselves. So it's not an OEM branded product or anything like Toya or something else. So everything is developed in Bulgaria, where we have our headquarter and our team. So we are around 200 employees around the world, and around 70 of those employees are in the R&D department, so hardware, software development. So we have a quite big development department considering the size of our company, and it is a focus for us always to be ahead of technology. So being first movers with new features and functionalities in this area. We are growing quite fast, as you can see on the statistics. So if not the fastest, we are at least one of the fastest IoT companies growing in the world at the moment. And we have very big ambitions for the future. The Nordics, Scandinavia and the Nordics is a main focus for us, where I started in October last year. And it's kind of the sales manager for our area. I live in Denmark, and that's the reason why I do this in English. But at the moment, we are hiring a guy for Finland as well. So we will be able to provide local support and knowledge for you, and hopefully also be able to have these webinar in Finnish in the near future. We also translating the app and everything like that. So we will. Our strategy is that we are adopting more to local areas and not just international language and so on. So yeah, that's the main focus. Well, our manufacturing is in China, where we have very very huge factory with a lot of people there. So it's not our own factory, but the factory is working 100% for us. So as far as I know, around 1,000 employees is working. I see that my colleague from Asia, Billy, is on this call. So Billy, correct me if I'm wrong. You might know more about this, but yeah, we have a very nice production area in China. Good. Let's go to what I call the Smart Home Challenge. So at the moment, there are a lot of manufacturers on the market, a lot of protocols, and I mean Zigbee, Z-Wave, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Thread, and it can be quite confusing if you're not working with this on a daily basis. So what to pick, how to combine these protocols and products and devices from different manufacturers. So I'm stating here that there's no real no common communication language in the market. Well, there is something called Matter on the market, but I'm still saying that there are no common communication language because Matter is so new, and there are so few products that really support Matter and it's working properly. I believe that this will become something big in the future. So we will, of course, also support Meta. I don't want to dive deep into Meta protocol and so on. I'm just mentioning that there is something upcoming, but it's not that big. So there are no real ways of combining these products without picking any kind of open source platform like Home Assistant, or it could be the Homey Gateway, the Smart Things Gateway, or something like that. There are ways to do it, but again, as professionals, you also need to guarantee some reliability, which is one of the topics. You need to guarantee that some and give some support to your customers and so on. So this is quite difficult, and I get many questions how we can make professional smart home installations, because this is something that will come more and more in the future. And open source is a topic I've written here because, in my opinion, open source is moving much faster than the professional area. Like a good example is the Home Assistant, which is an open source platform where you can combine a lot of different kind of products from different kind of manufacturers in different technologies. And every single month there are around 9,000 volunteer developers on that platform. So you can imagine that there's no real companies out there, not even Amazon or Google or anyone who can develop in that speed as the Home Assistant platform is, with so many volunteer developers. So, but the challenge again with open source is there's no guarantee that your system will work in a month and so on. So you need to be the experts out there to know what to do and not to do. And I'll try to give you an idea of, or at least my solution for how you can create a very nice, stable smart home installation that also works with third-party systems, which is not Shelly. All right. If you look at the professional smart home market at the moment, I often see one of these, and with professional smart home systems, I mean what the systems that you can find at your professional electrical wholesaler at the moment. I don't want to mention any names here, but you know, as installers, what you can find out there. And often we see either a lack of functionalities, like it could be that the programming cannot be that advanced, or it's only a simple automations you can do or something like that. Can also be that the devices is very expensive, so it's difficult for you to argue to the customer why pick this device instead of any other smart home device, because often they are quite expensive. It could also be that they're requiring wiring. It could be some kind of a bus system. It can be that the systems is very complex, that you need a lot of training and certificates or whatever to be able to install them. It could also be that they have no, or at least just a very few integrations. Most systems today offer integration to Amazon Alexa and Google Home, but again, very often this is the limit, and then I will call this a closed system, because they are somehow locking you to their platform and trying to limit your the possibility to integrate with other systems. And this especially becomes a problem when the manufacturers of these systems are only focusing on one or at least a few things. It could be like only lighting or only heating or only blind control or something like that. And this becomes a problem, because then you end up having 5-10 apps or something like that on your phone, and the systems does not work together. And I think, as I mentioned, as I says here, that we can really change that. This is at least the idea. So this is, in my opinion, what you would like to do. And now you can see that there is some kind of a smart home gateway here. So this is just an example. I'm showing you right now the Atom Homey gateway. It could also be the Home Assistant or Smart Things or any other third-party gateway that can integrate different kind of systems in one solution. Because I think this is needed, because there, as far as I know, and I have worked with many different kind of systems over the last many years, I have not seen a single system that can do all of this in a closed system. So meaning you can do roller shutter control, you can control your household appliances like your vacuum cleaner, your washing machine, dishwasher, whatever, intelligently, your climate meaning heating pump, radiator thermostats, underfloor heating, etc., hi-fi, smart television, Sonos speakers. You have the lighting, your manual controlling, which is also important, that you have the flexibility to always reprogram your wall switches so you can adapt the functionality of your wall switches to the use of the room. So, for example, if you have an office and you get some kids and need to change the office to a kids room, then you might want to change the functionality of the wall switches so you can have different behavior of the room. Energy metering, monitoring, some safety solutions, security solutions is probably a better word, and some sensors. I have not seen any systems out there who can do not even KNX, because it's difficult for any manufacturer to make integrations with vacuum cleaners of different brands, so speakers, smart televisions, and so on. And that's the reason why open source platforms like the Home Assistant or something like that is so fast growing, because they can do that. We cannot even do it directly, at least. So we can solve the green boxes here for you, meaning that we can do roller shutter control, Jarrett door control, climate control, lighting, manual controls, wall switches, etc. We have energy consumption. We have a lot of sensors. And here we have some security devices like smoke sensors. We can also control door locks, but we don't have these like the Yale door lock or something like that. But we can control some door locks or professional door locks, if you can call it that. So how do we in a professional way make a stable system that can also work together with your Sonos speakers or something else in a complete solution to the customer? That's the question, and this is my solution for that, and how I am recommending you to do it. So you can use our ecosystem for the most important part of a building, of a house. So you can control your roller shutters, your climate, your lighting, your energy monitoring. You also have the manual control, so everyone knows how to turn on and off the lighting without using an app or voice control or something like that. You also have the smart sensors, meaning the motion sensors, humidity and temperature sensors, door window sensors, etc., in one single system. Meaning, if you do that, we will give you full guarantee, full support. We will make sure that this works at your customer. And at the same time, and this is quite unique, not many manufacturers can do that, you can make a parallel integration to any kind of third-party platform in the market, like the Home Assistant or Homey or Google or Amazon or whatever. And still, from your wall switches, you control your Sonos speakers or turn on your vacuum cleaner or something like that. You can do that with a parallel integration. So all of the more funny things will still work, and they will still work very good. But all of the things that needs to run 100% locally, and where you would need to be able to get some professional support is in a closed system, so to say. So this is my solution, and how I would do it, because you can offer guarantee support for most of it, and then all of these more funny things can be parallel integrated at the same time. Good. A little bit about the product. So we have 4 main product ranges. We have the Pro Series, which is a DIN rail range for the electric panel. We have the retrofit range. I call it the Plus Series. There are a few devices which is not in the Plus range yet. Plus means that it is a second generation devices. But well, the retrofit range, so small relays, etc., like this one, which can be installed behind your wall switch in the ceiling box or something like that. We have a range of smart sensors, mainly battery operated, but also some live connected devices, and a range of plug and play devices, which is some smart lamps, smart bulbs, smart plugs, like that. I will go more into details very soon about all of the devices. Okay, let me get some coffee. This is my second webinar today. I had one in Danish for 1.5 hours ago. So yeah, I might need some water for my throat. All right. Uh, so the whole idea behind Shelly, all of the thoughts our owner had when he developed the system back in the days, is that he wanted to do something which is complete. So not just limited to lighting, not just limited to heating control, but trying to make it as complete as possible in a system where you can get these support and guarantees. So lighting, heating, cooling, ventilation, garage door control, everything you can think of more or less. We also wanted to make it very user friendly. So it is very simple and easy to get started with. I would say you don't need this training to get started. It of course helps you, I hope. But the app and the web interface is very intuitive. So from opening the app, you will quickly find out how to do an automation, how to make a group of products, how to do different kind of settings and so on. There are a lot of settings and possibilities, but it is very user friendly in my opinion. We also have built-in energy metering in most of our devices. There are a few exceptions, but in the most of the devices we have built-in power metering or energy metering. So when you are installing more and more Shelly devices, you will get a quite unique idea about where your energy goes. Is it for entertainment? Is it for lighting or households or whatever? You will get the information from the Shelly devices because you can group them and give them categories. We also want to provide value for money. So our target is to have to sell our devices of around half price compared to similar products in similar quality. So we are still having a focus on a very high quality and reliability, but we don't want to rob you, so to say. So we want to be very price competitive. That's our idea. Of course, it should be able to retrofit our device in our whole house. That's one of the main concepts. So you can take any house out there and start retrofitting devices. So you can start with one device, just connect it to your existing Wi-Fi in the house, and then you are ready to use Shelly. You don't need any gateways or anything like that. The app is for free, so just buy one single device and you can start expanding your house while you're getting more and more excited about it, hopefully. Advanced options is also something we would like to do, so we don't want to limit anything to you, so to say. So we have our own automations and so on you can do directly in the app. But if you want something even more unique, then you can start doing JavaScripting directly on the device. So all of our devices are having their own built-in web server, and therefore we can start doing this JavaScripting directly on the device if you want to. We also support MQTT webhooks if this is something for you, which makes it possible to combine Shelly devices or include them in old PLC installations and so on to make it more modern and yeah, provide new functionalities to existing installations. High compatibility. High compatibility, sorry, is one of the keywords as well. As I mentioned, we don't want to lock you to any system, so it's not gonna happen. But even if we would go bankrupt, then you can still use your Shelly devices with some other platform out there in the market. You don't need our app. You can even get started with Shelly completely without our app installed on your phone if you want to. And at the last circle here is the safety thing. And with safety, I mean two different kind of things. So we have built in over power, over current, and over voltage protection in our devices. And we also have over temperature protection built in the devices. At the same time, we have a fully compliant GDPR compliant cloud service. It's our own cloud service. So not relying on any third-party companies or anything. So we have full control of your data. So nothing to be worried about here. Good with our app, and again, it's completely up to you if you want to use our app or not. But if you want to do it, we will try to, of course, give you some nice features. So you will get a complete overview where you can monitor temperature, humidity, and get information about your energy consumption from your phone or a tablet or something like that. You can control lights, heating pumps, roller shutters, whatever you can think about, Jira stores directly from the device. And we have these automations you can do in our app. We have routines, we have scheduling, and so on. And we have an alert function, so you can you can get notifications or alerts directly on your phone if there's smoke, if there's some movement in your house when you're not at home or something like that. A lot of things. So you can of course also save a lot of energy, and this is one of our key focuses, especially because we have this energy crisis. So Shelly is quite fitting good in. So we say that you can save up to 40% energy. Of course, this completely depends on of the age of your house, how you automate your lighting, how you automate your heating, and so on. But in the end, there's a quite big potential for a lot of savings if you want to do that. Let's jump into the communication part. So we are based on Wi-Fi mainly for our devices. So and be aware, 2.4 gigahertz. This is still strange enough. One of the main questions I'm getting is why a customer might have some problems connecting devices to the internet. And very often I see that some customers are trying to connect them to 5 gigahertz network, but it does not work. I think it's very rare that you find any smart devices that works with 5 gigahertz. So use the 2.4 gigahertz network and make sure to enter your password right the first time, because this is also another thing I see, entering the password wrong or something like that. But in general, Shelly devices works with most Wi-Fi routers out there. I have a few recommendations. Be aware that it is not mandatory to follow these recommendations, but if you as professionals are building bigger installations, then you might want to follow these. So first, if you're doing big installations and would like to do it more professionally, install a router of a good quality. I'm always recommending Ubiquiti because I'm using it in my own house, and I really like their solution. But it could also be the TP-Link or Sixel or something like that. Just make sure to buy a router of a decent quality. It does not have to be that expensive. Another recommendation is to ensure that you have a good Wi-Fi network inside your building. It could be by installing access points or mesh network or something like that. I will always recommend installing wired access points, but not always possible. So these mesh networks also works quite fine. Set up a dedicated IoT network for Shelly devices. Again, it's not necessary, but I have been running with around 60 Shelly devices on my own home Wi-Fi network for quite a lot of time. But in the end, I ended up with a few duplicate IP addresses, IP conflicts. So two devices trying to use the same IP address and so on, which means that one or two devices went offline constantly. So I have been setting up a dedicated IoT network for my Shelly devices, and it means that I have no IP conflicts. It's easy to control because of all. This is my next thing. I've also at the same time set up static IP addresses outside of the DHCP range, because then it's so easy to control your devices. It also makes it easier when you will do these local webhook requests or automations. This is something I will go more into in the advanced session. Also, how to set the fixed IP addresses, how to set up a dedicated IoT network. I'll not show you this today, but I'll show you in the advanced session. Also, I recommend to keep the router as a part of your house, especially if you will sell your house. Well, basically, you can use Shelly devices without any router. If you have them local wired, so the switches wired, the bulbs wired, etc. But if you have automations that says I have a wireless button and I wanted to turn on and off my device, Then you need the local Wi-Fi network. You don't necessarily need any cloud connection, but you will need the local Wi-Fi network made by your router. And if you remove the router from your house, then you don't have the local Wi-Fi network, and then your devices will not work. So always when doing bigger installations, I recommend you to buy a router, decent router of good quality, and make it a part of your house, because this is the backbone of your Shelly installation. Very important. Like in some in Zigbee systems, or C-wave systems and something like that, there are very often a limitation of around 200 devices in a network. With Shelly, there are basically no limitations of how many connected devices you can have. The limitation comes from your router, from your Wi-Fi settings, but theoretically you can have multiple thousand devices in one single network if you want to. So this is very important, and where we are different from many others. This is just a small tip. So in case of dead spots in the Wi-Fi, you can activate the range extender functionality, and it works for all Plus and Pro devices, which means that the device itself will activate a local network that can, so it kind of extends the network of your Shelly devices, so you can connect devices to the other Shelly device and use them like kind of an access point to the network. Good. We also have Bluetooth built in all of our Plus and Pro devices, and there are mainly two reasons for that. The first is that the inclusion runs much smoother and faster. So via Wi-Fi, we can share information about Wi-Fi settings. So they will share SSID and password to your device, so it's easier to connect to your internet. And next thing is that we are using Bluetooth more and more as a gateway for third-party Bluetooth devices and for Shelly Bluetooth devices, and it's quite new. But here's the first one we launched. Maybe you can see it on the camera. So a very small, tiny button. The Shelly Blue button 1 is here. It comes in different colors. I'll show you later. But this is Bluetooth operated. Bluetooth cannot talk directly with the internet, but as any of the 230 volt Plus and Pro devices is connected to the Wi-Fi and has built-in Bluetooth, it can then be used as a gateway. So when you press this button, it will automatically connect to the closest device, which will connect the device to the internet in that way. So it will act as a gateway. This is quite clever, because if you have multiple devices in your house, then this button will always just connect to the closest device. So this is very nice. So we will come more and more with Bluetooth devices, also because they are reacting much faster than battery-operated Wi-Fi devices, as they are using a mesh communication, and they're not using, they're low-energy devices, so to say. So they don't need to go into sleep mode to save battery or anything. That's the main reason why we're doing this. And for all Pro devices, meaning Pro devices for the DIN rail, for the electric panel, we have RJ45 LAN connection. So you can, many electrical panels are made of metal or something like that, which blocks the wireless Wi-Fi. So by having this opportunity, you can connect a LAN cable to the bottom of your Pro devices, and by that connect them to the internet. And then to save some cabling, this is just a tip. You can just use one LAN connection for the first device in your electric panel, and then you can use the range extender functionality to create a local Wi-Fi inside the electric panel to connect all of your other Pro devices to. This is quite nice. Good. Let's talk about some devices. Let me just get some water first. Okay, good. Sorry. So this is our retrofit assortment. meaning devices you can install behind your wall switch on your ceiling box or something like that. As you can see, most of the devices call something with plus. There are 3 devices which is not named plus. It's the dimmer, it's the RGBW, and the Shelly Uni. Those devices are not called plus because they're first generation devices. Not that they are bad, they're still very good devices, but they have a little older hardware and they don't offer Bluetooth connectivity, but still very good devices. They will be upgraded in the near future. All of the other is plus devices, meaning better hardware, ESP32 processor, and integrated Bluetooth. It is also the plus devices that have the capability of doing scripting on the device. So Shelly Plus i4, and the i4 stands for input 4, so it's a pure input modules. No dimmers, no relays built in or anything like that. It's input readers. They have 4 inputs that they can read, meaning you can add up to 4 wall switches to one device. You can add motion sensors, daylight sensors, different kind of sensors that sends out a 230 volt signal. I mean, 110 to 240 volt, or for the i4 DC, 5 to 24 volt DC. So they can read those kind of signals, and each input has 4 functions. So if you are connecting like a wall switch, you have 4 functions: 1, 2, and 3 short clicks, and 1 long press or long hold, long click. So 4 different functions for each input, meaning 16 functions for a single device. The Shelly Uni, I don't want to go into details here. We'll speak a little bit more about it in the advanced session. But basically, it's a very small device. It's like a print. It looks like just a print, but it is protected with silicone, so you can touch it and so on. It's an analog and digital input, low voltage input. So you can add, for example, 3 temperature sensors to this device at the same time to read different kind of air temperatures, water temperature, so on. You can also have 0 to 10 volt connected to read that. And then it has 2 outputs, 2 times 2 amps outputs, dry contacts, so you can use them to control something from the output. So this is a device you can use if you have some creative ideas, really creative ideas. Let's go to the relay and dimmers. So we have the Shelly Plus One, which is the one stands for 1 channel, 16 amps, with the dry contacts, and that's the reason why it does not have the PM in the naming. So 16 amps relay with dry contacts. You can supply this device with 12 to 48 volt DC or 110 to 240 volt AC. And because of the dry contacts, for example, you can supply this device with 12 volt and switch a 230 volt line if you want to. So this is what the dry contact does, and because of that, this device is often being used for controlling Jarrett doors, because this is typically a requirement for the Jarrett doors motors, or to control lighting or pumps or something like that. This is one of our most popular products. Then we have the Shelly Plus One PM, and PM stands for power metering. So this is a 1 channel 16 amps relay with power metering. So it can be supplied with 24 to 30 volt DC or 110 to 240 volt AC. And because of the power metering, what goes in is also what comes out. So if you supply it with 230 volt, it will also send out 230 volt when you switch the device on and off. Often used for pumps, for ventilators, for lighting, for installing behind the wall socket, and so on. A lot of different use cases with this device. Shelly Plus 2 PM. Now I guess you know it. The 2 stands for 2 channels, and PM stands for power metering. So you have 2 channels with individual power metering on both channels. You can supply this device with 24 volt to 30 volt DC or 110 to 240 volt AC. And it has also, so just to explain, you have two channels. You can control two channels of light if you want to. You can also control two channels of like two wall sockets, or I'm using it in my bathroom. The one channel is controlling my mirror light, and the other output is controlling my ventilator, bathroom ventilator. Yeah, and but you also have the opportunity to set it up in roller shutter mode, meaning that you can start controlling two-way AC motors to control roller shutters, or different kind of solutions like that. So it has built-in memory. You just need to calibrate it once, and then it has the built-in memory. Shelly Dimmer 2 is, as it says, a dimmer. It's a one single channel dimmer, leading edge and trailing edge, so you can control different kind of halogen lights and LED lights and so on. You can you can add up to 200 watt power, connected power, and it has built-in power metering as well. Shelly RGB-W2 is a 4-channel LED strip controller, so you can use it for 4 channels of white if you want to, or RGB or RGB plus a white channel. So it has 4 channels with individual power metering as well. It can be connected supplied with 24 volt or 12 volt, 12 or 24 volt. Yeah. So this is quite nice. I would like to show you something very interesting in my opinion. Let me get some coffee first. So this is my own wiring diagram. It could be nicer, but I think it works. So this is an example of the Shelly dimmer, and I'm using it in different ways in my own house. So the idea behind the dimmer is that it has 2 inputs, which I think is pretty nice. So very often I'm just using the first input to control the light output. So adding a spring behind my wall switch gives it the button functionality. So one press turns on, one press turns off, and if I hold the button, it dims up and down. You can also set it up so you have 2 dimmers, 2 switches to both inputs. So you have one input to turn on and ramp up the light, and another button to turn off and ramp down, dim down the light. But I'm using the second input quite different. I'll show you in a while. But by installing the Shelly dimmer like this, you just have a normal installation that can be dimmed down, and it's very easy to do. And it works completely locally without internet connection, without anything. You don't even need to add it to our app. So what I'm trying to tell with this is that the dimmer itself has a very attractive price, in my opinion, also compared with many other standard dimmers without smart functionalities. So why not use the Shelly dimmer in any solution where you need a normal dimmer, and then you can tell your customer that, hey, a customer, by the way, I installed a smart dimmer for you, but it's optional. If you want to use the smart functionality, you can activate it if you want to, and then you can start control your lights on an app or by voice or whatever you would like to, but it's optional. So kind of making a smart ready installation for the customer. This is another feature you get with the dimmer, and what I'm very often doing. So I have added 2 switches to the dimmer, and I'm always using the first input to control the light on, off, and dim. And then I'm very often using the second input for smart reasons. So I'm using Home Assistant in my own house, which means that I can also control my Sonos speakers or my smart television or my coffee machine even. So actually I can control my coffee machine from this room because it's Wi-Fi connected. So every time I want to leave my office to go grab some coffee, I press the wall switch, which is connected to my second input. It sends a signal to my Home Assistant server, which sends a signal to my speaker or my coffee machine that now turn on. So by using the second input, you actually have the opportunity to control any other smart home device if you want to. It's quite nice because all inputs are fully programmable on Shelly devices. Okay, that's just some inspiration and some ideas I want to give you. Good. Another way you can control your lights is like this. So as I mentioned, the Shelly Plus i4 has 4 inputs, so you can basically connect up to 4 wall switches to one device. And it uses the router, the wireless network. You don't need any internet connection from the outside. It's beneficial to have, but it's not necessary for making this to work. But pressing the wall switch can send a signal to your dimmer to turn on the lights wireless if you want to, but it can also send signals to your third-party gateway so you can control any other smart devices if you want to. So that's another way of doing it, making everything wireless. If you don't have the option to well make wired solutions. And by the way, I forgot to mention that the Shelly dimmer also works without the neutral. If you have neutral, I would always recommend to use the neutral, but it also works without neutral if you have at least 8 watt connected power, or by using the bypass if you have less power connected. Good. Here, this is a very interesting device in my opinion. One of my favorite devices, the Shelly Plus add-on, and I will try to show you on the camera. 1 second. Can I make it bigger? Yeah, I can make it bigger. So I'll just disconnect it. Here you can see. So first I'll show you. So this is the Shelly device, how they looks like. This is Shelly Plus 1 PM. If you look on the back side, you can maybe see some small pinouts, the small holes here. And this is what you can use for flashing third-party firmware if you would like to. So it's optional for you if you want to, but they're also being used to connect this device, the Shelly Plus add-on device. So you can see the pins here, maybe, yeah. So you just simply kind of connect them like that. So you can connect the Shelly Plus add-on to any Shelly Plus device. It doesn't matter which one. And let me just make my window smaller again, like that. So here you can, 1 second, I'm sorry, my son is calling me. I just need to reply quickly. Hej Malte. Jeg sidder lige i møde, Malte. Kan du måske lige ringe til mor? Eller så lige 2 sekunder. Jeg kan lige sige lige til mor. Eller spørge lige mor. Okay, kan du prøve at ringe til mor? Jeg sidder lige i møde, skat. Jeg tror, hun kommer og henter dig, men prøv lige at ringe til hende. Kan du det? Okay, tak Malte. Og ellers må du gerne gå selv, hvis ikke hun tager den, ikke? Og ellers må du gerne gå selv, hvis ikke hun tager den, okay? Okay. Hej, skat. I'm very sorry for that. My son just started to go home on by his own, so he promised to call us every time he walks. So yeah, good. You can see the Shelly Plus add-on offers a lot of extended functionality. So what you can do is that you can connect kind of any smart device, not any, but a lot of different kind of smart sensors to the device. And we are not the manufacturer of any of these devices. They are just examples. So typical what you call Arduino sensors can be connected. This is the DS18B20 temperature sensor. So we are selling it, but not the manufacturer of it. But you can control, for example, up to 5 temperature sensors to this device at the same time. You can also connect a DHT22, which is a temperature and humidity sensor combined. We have this soil moisture sensor. You can connect sound detectors, 0 to 10 volt devices, all kind of funny devices, and then get extended functionality with Shelly. So very interesting. Good. I will tell more about this device in the advanced session. Good. This one is a completely new device. We wanted, we would have launched it a few months ago, but it was delayed. And I have it right here, actually. So here you see it's a touchscreen, 5-inch touchscreen, very high quality. So from the screen you can turn on and off different devices, and it reacts quickly, immediately. You can probably hear this is the built-in relay. It's kind of noisy, but it's a 16 amps relay. That's the reason. You can see maybe I'm sweating a little bit because there's quite hot in this room at the moment, 32 degrees. So it has a built-in um, it has a built-in what do you call it, temperature sensor. It has built-in humidity sensor. It shows you the live power metering of the room. You can enter here, select your favorite devices to the front screen. You can easily scroll and find your devices in the room or groups or whatever. So quite nice device you have with a lot of functionality, and I'm really looking forward for this being launched. So the target is that I guess we are expecting to have it ready on stock in the end of July or beginning of August. Yeah, so not much more to say. It also have built-in lux sensor, and all of these informations like the lux level, like the temperature, everything else can be used on the device. And I forgot to show you this because this is quite nice. It can be used as a thermostat, very often requested. So if you press up here, you can control your room temperature. So quite nice. Good. Let's continue. The Dean Rail line. So the Pro series is for Dean Rail mounting in the electric panel, and if you remember the colors, they will go again. I will just remove this so you can better see here. So the Shelly Pro 1 is a 1-channel 16 amps a relay with dry contacts, meaning no power metering. Shelly 1 PM is a 1-channel 16 amps relay with power metering. Shelly Pro 2 is a 2-channel 2 times 16 amps relay with dry contacts. Be aware you can maximum have a combined power of 25 amps to this device. But yeah, dry contacts, so you can also have 2 different phases on the output if you want to. We have here the Pro 2 PM, which is a 2-channel 2 times 16 amps relay with roller shutter control and power metering on each channel. We have the Pro 3. It is a 3-channel relay, 3 times 16 amps with dry contacts. And here you can have 16 amps on all 3 channels because it's very powerful. This is a completely new device, the Shelly Pro Dual Cover PM. And this is a 2-channel cover controller. So you can control 2 blinds or 2 ways AC motors from the same device. And then we have the high runner here, the Shelly Pro 4 PM, our bestseller for the Dean Rail. Let me move my camera again like that so you can see it all. Good. And yeah, nothing much to say. Well, it's a 4-channel device with power metering on every individual channel. You can have 4 times 16 amps. Well, in combined power, you can have 14 amps in total, but 16 amps on each output. It's pretty nice with that screen you can see here. So you can control each channel directly from the screen. You can live see the energy consumption on each output. You can use this device for many different kind of solutions, like 4 channels of light. Many customers are using it in offices. So for workspace control, so you can control each workspace. So if there's no one sitting on the workspace, then you can eliminate the standby consumption, etc. Control your electric equipment in an office, so eliminate again the standby consumption when the office is closed or something like that. Personally, I'm using this device for my underfloor heating on my first floor where I'm sitting right now. So I'm using wireless temperature sensors to send information about room temperature to and then this device is just controlling the thermostats for my underfloor heating. So quite universal device that can be used for a lot of different things. Be aware that it's a single phase device, so yeah, it's not that rare. Not you rarely have 14 amps in a single phase, but I have some customers, some industrial customers, who are very happy about it. I've already mentioned that some in built-in temperature overpower protection in our devices. And this is the Shelly plug and play range, Wi-Fi range, so to say. So we have some Bluetooth sensors as well. I will show you in a minute. Good. The Shelly Plug Plus S is a 12 amp relay with power metering, one of the, if not the most popular plug on the market. So it's quite new, this one, but the successor was probably the most successful smart plug on the market. It has built-in power metering. It also has this colored ring, which as a standard changes between 3 different colors depending on the consumption and the connected power. So green, yellow, red. But you can switch that off or you can control it individually as you want to. We also have a 16 amps plug. We have a Shelly TRV, which is a smart radiator thermostat. It has a built-in 6,500 milliamps battery, which you can charge with a USB-C cable if you want to. It has around 2 years of battery lifetime, and then you can just simply charge it again with your power bank or whatever you would like to. We have the Shelly button 1, which is a small button here connected to Wi-Fi. The main issue with this button is that it is quite slow. So from you press the device, it takes 1 to 2, maybe even 3 seconds before the light will turn on. And this is because this is a sleeping device. To save power and battery, it goes into sleep. And when you press it, it needs to wake up, needs to connect to the internet, and then needs to send the command. So there's a small delay. But if you use it for rollers, for blinds, for something like that, it's not an issue, in my opinion, with the small delay. But for if you want immediately light, you should go for the Bluetooth version, which I will show you in a minute. We have some smart bulbs, RGB E27 bulbs, some Geo10 bulbs, some vintage lamps. This is one of my favorite devices, the Shelly Motion 2. So this is a multi-sensor, so it has the motion detection, of course, with passive infrared technology. But it also has built-in temperature sensor, it has built-in lux sensor and built-in vibration sensor. So a lot of different sensors built in one single device. It is running on Wi-Fi, but it is using the latest Wi-Fi low energy chip, which means that it stays connected to the internet and is extremely fast. So when it detects motion, it takes less than 200 milliseconds to turn on the light because it is connected constantly to the internet. So I really love this device. The Shelly door window is also a Wi-Fi connected door window sensor. And again, we have the small delay with this device because it goes into sleep mode. We have another solution for you with Bluetooth, which is faster. But again, if you use this device for turning off the heating when you open a door or a window, it doesn't matter if you have a delay of 2-3 seconds. It's only if you need immediately to turn on the light or something like that, it can be a little annoying. But it's a multi-sensor and I like it because it has a built-in open-close functionality. It has built-in vibration sensor, so you can get information if someone is breaking the window. It also has built-in temperature and lux sensor, so you get a lot of information out of this device. We have a flood sensor with built-in temperature sensor, so it can also measure the temperature of the underfloor heating. We have the Plus H&T, which is a humidity and temperature sensor. It can be powered by 4 times AA batteries or constantly powered with USB-C cable. Then we have the Shelly gas sensor, LPG or CNG. So we have two different versions depending on the gas type you have. We have the Shelly Plus smoke sensor, which is a battery operated smoke detector with 3 years of battery lifetime. Good. I think that was it. Now we are showing you some quite new devices. So the Shelly Blue Button 1 was launched a few months ago. And as you can see, it's a very, very small. Let me just make my screen bigger so you can better see here. So it's a very small device. It's kind of meant to you can hang it in your keychain or something like that, carry it around with you. And when you press, it has immediately reaction. So when you want to turn on the light really goes on immediately because it's using the Bluetooth technology. So as mentioned, it can connect to any, it will just connect to the closest 230 volt connected Shelly device around you. So you get a very fast reaction. And because of Bluetooth, it is a low energy device. We can make it much smaller and consume less energy. So that's the reason. And then you can see another very new device. It's not officially released yet, but the Shelly Blue Door window device. I want to show it to you anyway. So I have it right here. A very small battery operated door window sensor that also reacts immediately, and it's very slim, very nice design in my opinion, at least. With very, very fast reaction. You can get it in 3 different colors. It has open close function, of course. It has the tilt functionality and it has the lock sensor built in. So yeah, a quite nice device. What else to say? I forgot to mention about this device. The blue button, it has 4 actions. So 1, 2, 3 short pushes and 1 long push. One nice function is that it has the beacon mode. So it kind of, as it connects to the closest device, it will know in which room you are in. So you can actually have different actions depending on which room you are in. Right now it requires some scripting, but it is possible. So our owner says when he's standing in front of his Jarrett door and pressing this device, it will open and close the Jarrett door. If he's standing in the kitchen and pressing the button, it will turn on and off the lights in the kitchen because it's connecting to the closest device. It's pretty nice that you can do that, in my opinion. Good. I've already spoken a little bit about this device. The radiator thermostat, yes, there's a few things to mention. Around 2 years battery lifetime based on a 5 months heating period. It's rechargeable, of course, with the USB-C cable. It has built-in temperature measurement. But also it supports external temperature sensors. So if you have like a large room, you might want to install another temperature sensor, then you can get the offset of those two measurements and it can heat up your room based on that. You can also purely use the external temperature sensor if you want to do that. It has built-in 5 quick profiles, so I'm using these quick profiles personally. Like I have a night profile and a day profile and a weekend profile. And based on those profiles, I'm combining them with the custom schedule. So I have automatically lowering the temperature in the nighttime and again, heating up the room automatically in the daytime. So it's pretty nice that you have all these features in one single device. Good. All right. I already spoke a little bit about this. The smoke alarm is battery powered, around 3 years of battery lifetime. It is using optic sensor, so it detects the heating before it really have the big flames and so on. So it detects the heating and the smoke very quickly. And of course, everything works together, so you're getting push notifications immediately, and you can make your lights blink or turn red or whatever when something happens. Here are something new once again. So we are launching quite a lot of new devices at the moment. The Shelly EM is not new. So this is, again, I don't have it here, but the same dimension, same size as other Shelly retrofit devices. But with the Shelly EM, you can connect 2 times 15 amps or 2 times 120 amps current transformers. And because of the name, it's not just power metering, it's energy metering. So you're getting more information from this device. You're getting power information, energy consumption, you're getting voltage information, you're getting information about your current, and also about a power factor. So a lot of different informations from this device. Then it has one output, 2 amps output. It has a dry contact, so you can like control an external contact or something like that based on your consumption to make some energy controls. Then we have a new device here. The Shelly Pro 3EM was launched a few months ago, and now we are launching the Shelly Pro 3EM 400. So we have two different devices. This is the same main device, but we have different current transformers. So the small ones here can measure up to 120 amps per phase, and the big ones here, they are very big, can measure up to 400 amps per phase. And this one is just launched now, and it is in stock. So they are very, very accurate. They can measure your total energy consumption, but it can also monitor your production if you have solar cells, something like that on your rooftop. So you can get a lot of information about your consumption and your production of energy, and based on those information you can start triggering different kind of Shelly relays, so you can use your overproduction to charge your electric vehicle, or to heat up your rooms or cool down your rooms, some kind of thing. So instead of sending back your overproduction to the electric grid, then you can use it in your own house with some simple automations. And instead of making the automations wireless, we have just now released a new device, which is the Shelly Pro 3EM switch add-on. It is a small 2 amps relay, which can be simply like the Plus add-on. It can just be connected to the Pro 3EM add-on, and then you have this 2 amps dry contact, which can control an external contact or something like that. So you can really make efficient energy control of your house. Good. I think that was what I had to say about these devices. Well, there's a lot more information because this is a quite advanced device. So it also has Modbus, TCP support if you want that. It is measuring in 1 minute intervals. So you can actually, not yet in our app, but very soon in our app, also get historical data down to 1 minute intervals resolution. So it's very, very cool device in my opinion. Good. We have some accessories right here, and I really like them. Honestly, it's very simple devices, but makes it much funnier and easier to install Shelly. So we have the walls frames, 1, 2, and 3 frames. We have white and black color. We have a single wall switch, a double wall switch, and a wall switch 4 with 4 buttons, and the wall socket. And when you buy the devices, they're completely flat on the back side. And then we have these relay holders included, which you can click on. And in those relay holders, you can add any Shelly retrofit device. So you can give your buttons different kind of functionality. I really like the functionality of these. So it's quite easy to just replace your device and your wall switch, and yeah, install this Shelly on the backside. It gives them more space when you want to install them. Soon we will jump on a live session to show you the web app. But before we do that, I want to give just some quick inspiration of how you can use Shelly. So yeah, let's just do it. So all Shelly devices can follow the sunrise and sunset, plus minus up to 20 hours. So it's pretty nice. This is just some example of some devices. So for example, when the sun goes down, you can make your outdoor light turn on and again turn off after 1 hour if you want to do that. I like this right light at the right time. You can use it in different kind of ways, but I am, for example, using it in my kitchen. So when I am about to cook, because I'm the one who cooks here at home, I press the cooking button in my kitchen, and then I get a very bright, clear white light. so I really can see what I'm cooking. I can see all of the food in a good quality. So, but I don't want to eat in that light. So I want a more cozy, warm light when I go to eat. So I press the dining button. Means now we go to eat, and the light will turn warm and soft and cozy. So yeah, based on that, you can make all of the scenarios you want to. Turn on the light when you open the door. This is also a very simple functionality, but I like it. So when it's after sunset and I go out with the trash, the light automatically turns on when I open the front door. So it's very convenient because you don't need to press any wall switches or anything like that. You just open the door and then you have light outside. The light can turn off again after 10 minutes or something like that. All Shelly devices that can control lights or is a light bulb has a built-in night mode, and the information is stored inside the device so it remembers. So even without internet, it will work. So when you activate the night light, you can set a period when you want the light to dim down. So for example, if I go up in the night, I want to go to the toilet, the light turns on maybe because of motion sensor or something else. I press the button, then it will automatically dim down to 20% or 30% light, so it's easy for me to come back and go to bed again. We can control the light based on the luminosity, of course. So we have some sensors that can measure the lux level, and based on that, we can brighten or dim the lights, of course, automatically. We have standard motion detection, motion sensor functionality. We can control radiators with our TLV thermostat, of course. We can control underfloor heating. We have a very nice feature for that in our app, which automatically handles everything. You can control your blinds. We can control Jarrett doors. We can have what we call efficient water heating, and this is very popular, I know, in Finland, because I think the solution was on the front paper of some kind of Finnish online magazine or newspaper. So the idea is that you, by scripting, can look forward and know about your electrical prices for the next 24 hours, and based on the electrical price, you can make your water heater or any other device. It could also be electric car charger. Switch on and off when the electricity is on the cheapest. So based on that, you can start saving a lot of money. You can also automate your irrigation system based on sunrise and sunset. You might know that you don't want to water your grass when the sun is up, because you can then burn your grass and so on. So you can automatically let your irrigation system turn on when after sunset, for example. Good setup. I just want to quickly show you this small video. It's a video of our new app. In the end, it will say coming soon, but it's a few months old app or video. So the app has been launched now. Let me just play it for you. All right, good. So what I wanted to show you here is actually this part. So, we have our web app, which works on in any web browsers. We have our smartphone app, Android app, iOS app, Huawei app, and the app also works for tablets. And in tablets we have wall mode, and so you can turn the tablet and have different kind of modes and views. So I really like this because we work on any device and have different kind of views, and I personally really like what they have done with the new app. The design is much better than the last one. Good. So again, we have the app, the web app. I'll show you a live demonstration later, very soon actually. Just very quickly, how you get started with your first device. So first you need to create a room. Just press the plus up here and you can create any rooms. It's very simple. After that, you can start adding your devices. You do it in the bottom of the app right here. Press the plus icon in the bottom right corner. Press add a new device. Then you can choose how you want to add the device by access point scan or from Bluetooth. It doesn't really matter. Then you can select what kind of device you want to add. If you have a lot of devices at the same time you have installed, you might want to pick the exact device you want to add. But you can also just press include any, and it will search for any new devices. From here, you need to enter your Wi-Fi credentials, so SSID and password, and again, make sure to enter the right password the first time. Press save password, then it remembers for the next device you need to add. Press connect, because now it finds your device. It wants you to connect directly to the device. Press connect. Give your device a name. Give it an icon if you want to, or take your own picture of the device you want to control. Select a room where you want to include the device, and then you can start controlling the device. That's basically it. So very intuitive, very simple. I didn't need to show you this guide probably, but now I did. There's another way to connect devices, which some people does. So you can connect our devices to the internet without even using our app. It's quite simple, because when you have connected any of our devices to the mains power, it will create its own access point. And you can see it here. This is my Wi-Fi settings of my computer. So you can see that I've connected a Shelly color bulb here. So what I need to do is to press this to connect to this Wi-Fi of the Shelly device, and then I need to open a browser and go to 192.168.33.1. This is the standard IP address of any Shelly device. And then I enter the standard web interface of the Shelly device. And from here, I can start controlling the device if I want to. But I can also go to the internet and security settings. And from here, I can enter my Wi-Fi credentials again and press save. And now I have added the Shelly device to my own Wi-Fi internet, even without using the Shelly app. And from here, I can start integrating into third-party systems like Home Assistant or Homey or any other system. It's quite easy. So then I've done it even without using my own Shelly app. Good. I've made some videos to show how you can group devices, how you can control devices, etc. Normally, I'm showing these short videos live, but I think let me try. I'll do it live for you instead. So instead of showing you the videos, you will get links for the videos as they're very short. But let me do it live, how to do these kind of things instead. Good. Advanced sessions, let me just quickly introduce you to webhooks. So webhooks is a kind of local commands, we also call it DDD, direct device to device control. So by sending a local command, HTTP command, we can turn on the light, turn off the light, toggle the light, dim the light, and so on. It looks quite advanced, but it's very, very simple to do. And when you have tried it a few times, I guess you would probably prefer doing it that way, at least the most basic solutions. So all the basic things like turn on, turn off, toggle light, dim light, I have done it by webhooks. And more advanced things, I've been using the Shelly scene functionality. All right. Scripting is also something we have. I don't want to show you right now, but again, with scripting, you can do a lot of things. I'm not capable of doing scripting. I'm trying to learn it, but I cannot do it. But I can import examples. It's quite simple. So there's a whole library right here of Shelly scripting examples. So it's just copy paste from those, or just import them directly from the import function of Shelly, and then you can do the small modifying and then start controlling your devices or add extra functionality by scripting. And it is actually by scripting. This guy from Finland, actually, called Spot hinta.fi, created a script to make this price and rank controlled functionality. So you can start controlling your devices based on the cheapest hours a day or on fixed electricity prices and so on. It's very nice. Again, if you want to learn more about that, you should sign up for the advanced session, because here I will show you exactly how to do it. Good. All right, third-party integrations. Again, as mentioned, we work with more or less everything. There's only one at the moment that we don't work directly with. It's the Apple HomeKit, but it will come very soon. So yeah, you can pick your own platform, more or less, where you want to control your Shelly devices. This is just some recommendations and some short information about third-party platforms. Let me just take the time. I would skip this one because there will be dedicated sessions for that. But the Homey, I really like it. It's a great system. It supports plus 50,000 devices. According to themselves, it has built-in Z-Wave, Zigbee, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and many other things. And it offers you advanced programming. It even works locally. So easy to get started with, a nice platform. And if you want to have something which is even more advanced, I recommend using Home Assistant. And if you want some, I will not recommend using Amazon or Google for automations. Well, they can do some, but they are not that advanced. They're more simplified, but well, they work. For me, Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home is more voice assistance. All right, this is just some solutions for the Danish market because we have all other kind of wall sockets. So let me skip that part for you. And before giving you the useful links, I would like to do the live part. So let me just switch my screen. 1 second. Here you go. So you should be able to see my web browser now. So again, if you go to control.shelly.cloud, you enter our web interface, and from here you can start controlling your devices. Now the language is in Danish. Let me just quickly switch to English. So as mentioned, we are working on the Finnish version, but it's not available yet. So let's start with the English language. Here you go. Now you should be able to understand more of what's going on. So when you log in, you see the dashboard here. I have made 4 dashboards. You can make up to 5 dashboards. So I have one overview with my most common used devices, and I can easily turn them on and off. From here, I can press the dimmers and start controlling the dimmers. I have my ground floor, my first floor. I have a temperature overview here, where I can see my TRVs, and I can see the devices controlling my underfloor heating and my circulation pump. I have also made a group of all TRVs, so I can control them all at the same time if I want to do that. It's quite convenient. So yeah, that's the idea. Good. What else? Let me just try to show you how to edit this. So you can create more dashboards by pressing this edit button up here. And from here you can move around, drag around the dashboards. You can add another tab if you want to rename your tabs. If you press the edit button right here, you can customize your dashboard itself. Delete device, edit device. And by pressing the plus icon here, you can add more devices to a dashboard. You can add devices, rooms, groups, scenes if you want to. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. If I want to add a room, I press the room, I click next, and I add my dining room right here. So now I have easy access to my dining room. I'll delete it again. So that's how simple it is to use the dashboards. I also have the activity log right here, and from the activity log you can see your historical data for the kind of devices. So you can see here that there has been motion in the kitchen at 14:21 p.m. So yeah, quite simple. And if you press the arrow here, you can see more information about the device data at that time. If you press my home, you get the overview of your whole house. This is not cameras. I'm often getting asked about that. This is just pictures from my house. You can add more rooms by pressing the plus icon here. Then you can simply give your room a name, and then you can give it a picture. You can upload your own picture if you want to. If I press the edit button, I can edit my rooms. If you have temperature sensors, motion sensors, or anything like that inside the rooms, You'll get information about the temperature. You'll get information about the power consumption and also humidity, temperature, if there's motion or not inside the rooms. So getting quite a lot of information just from the overview right here. Good. If you have multiple temperature sensors, for example, in a room, I have that in my kitchen. I can press the edit button here and select, okay, from which device do I want to like have temperature data from, for example. Good. That's quite simple. Let me see. What else do we have? We have the consumption panel or information panel in the right side here. So you can see right now I have an energy consumption of 966 wattage. I have 85 connected devices and I have 7 devices offline. I guess the offline devices is mostly my devices in the back where I have my demo board, which is disconnected at the moment. What else do I want to show you? I can press, it did not change to English. Let me just reload. I need to press save. Why didn't it change to English? Maybe I need to clear my, now it changed. Mostly. I should probably clear my cache. I'm sorry, it's messing up a little bit. I think it's better. Yeah, now it's better. Now it's English. Good. If I go to my consumption panel right here, I have a consumption overview, so I can see information about my total consumption. I can see that it says consuming right now. If I had solar panels and was producing more energy than I was using, then it would say generating. I have different categories on my devices, so you can see the categorization of my consumption right here. So pool and garden, entertainment, refrigeration, and so on. And you can see different kind of views. So this is my live overview right now for all of my devices. I also have some historical data here, and you can select different kind of periods. So this is the last month. You can see here, and you can also see the estimated spendings in your local currency. So you can add different kind of tariffs. So you can have different. So you can have or get information about what is the actual cost of your consumption. Good. All right, let's dive a little bit more into it. I want to show you some device information. Let me find here my electric panel, and if I press this one, you can see here. So this is my Shelly EM, my Shelly 3 EM, which is installed in my electric panel. So right now it shows my live current energy usage, 1.55 kilowatt hours, and I can see my power consumption for each single phase, L1, L2, L3. They just call it phase A, B, C. I can see my voltage on each phase and my current and my power factor. I can also see my current information right here, historical data, and just change between different periods if I want to do that. And I can also see my estimated spendings in local currency. I have a lot of different kind of information I can go through here, but it's not that relevant for the Shelly EM. There are one thing I would like to show you, the appliance type. So this is a grid source. You can here change between different kind of appliance types. Press save, and I can show you the consumption calculation. So this is a very a nice function. So you can exclude this device from total room consumption or exclude it from total account consumption and so on, depending on how you would like to see your consumption information in your energy dashboard. And also be aware that I have now excluded this from my total account consumption because I've not done it for my single devices, and just to be sure that I don't have any double measurements in my system. All right, this is my Shelly plug that controls my network. I have one for my fridge as well. Let me just see here. Another good example. So in my basement, I would like to monitor my energy consumption of my freezer, but I don't want to like be able to by accident power it off. So if I try to power off my freezer right now, it says enter your password to unlock it. This is because I have added the pin lock, and the pin lock is quite nice to have, so you don't by an accident turn off some devices that you don't want to turn off. The pin lock can be found in the settings and in the app settings, and here you can see the pin lock. So it's standard 0000, but you can change that from here. Let me find another good example. So let me find my dimmer. So I have the dimmer here in my kitchen for my pendulums. You can of course turn it on and off from here if you want to. If I turn them off here, you can immediately see the power consumption of the device. You can change the brightness of the device if you want to, and turn on off from here. You also have all of the settings right here. So consumption history, I have on-off history. I have the possibility to add auto on and auto off. So for example, if I turn on the auto off function, the device will automatically turn off again after a certain period after you turned it on. Schedule, so I have not added any schedules, but I can do that very quickly. So for example, if I add a schedule here that says Monday to Friday, from here I can pick a time or sunrise sunset, for example. Now I want a certain time, like 7 o'clock in the morning. And from here I can add an action. So let's say I stay up at 7 o'clock, and at that time I want to eat my breakfast. So I want 40% brightness, like that. Now I've added a very simple schedule. That's a good question. How to set up Plug Plus to change color on night, like 22 to 7 in the morning, blue and otherwise normal color. Honestly, I've not tried it, but let's try to see if I know how to do it. I know it's possible, but I've never done it before. The easiest way might be to make a scene, but honestly, I've not checked if I can change the color by a scene of my plug. Good question. Let's try with the dishwasher, because I have the plug here on the dishwasher. Let me just I have the LED indicator night mode. Well, that might be a simple solution to do it. I know that's just the brightness in night mode. Let me just see here, color mode, power, switch off. I want to switch off the color here, probably. So that's the first thing to do, switch off the color mode so it does not use the power color mode, but just use, but it's off. And then let's try to make a scene to see if I know how to do it. Let me check. Plus plug S night color. Let me see. Select room. Let me use my demo room. Add a win condition. So this should be a time-based condition. So I need to set a daily, weekly schedule here, Monday to Friday. It could also be the whole week at, you say, 22 o'clock. I will do that right here. Save. Let me see if I can change the color of the plug. Honestly, I don't know. No, not from here. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I could pick the color right here. So this might be a missing in the scene functionality. So then you need to do it by HTTP request. And with HTTP request, you can do it because you can select the color you wanted to use. Send me an email. I will show you, because this is a little bit more advanced to do it in that way. It can also be done by scripting, but as I see right now, it's not a standard functionality in the app. I will speak with our app team about that. Thanks for a question. Now we have already started about the scenes, but let me show you how to make scenes in general. So I gave you a short introduction, even though I could not solve the solution you asked for. But let me give you another example of how to use the scenes. So scenes is what I would call automations. So a good example could be, let me make it very easy to understand what I would like to do. Turn on light when motion is detected and it is dark. So now I just want to turn on the light when there's motion in a room and it's dark outside. I need to select a room where I can enter the scene. Let me pick my demo room here where I have my solutions. I need to add a when condition, so when something happens. Let me just find my, if I go to the hall and pick my device, I want to pick my motion sensor here because that's the device that can detect my motion. And here I can trigger on different kind of things like motion, vibration, luminosity, etc. I want to trigger on the motion part right now. So when the Shelly sensor detects motion, like that, press save. And now I can see when the motion 2 sensor in my hall detects motion, then I can do something. But I would like to add when it's dark right now as well. So I have two options here. I can add the AND function and I can add the OR function. I would like to combine the motion and the luminosity. So I press here to find my hall again. I found the same motion sensor because it also supports luminosity. And now I say when it's dark, like that. So now I have the function here when motion 2 in the hall detects motion and when it's dark in the room, then I can do something. At the same time, I would like to be able to manually turn on the light on my wall switch. So I will add an OR function right here because I have the push buttons there as well. So this is my push button. It's in Danish, but this is my push button here. I'm using the Shelly i4 for that. And let me set the input state to on, like that. So now it says when there's motion and it's dark, then we can do something. Or when I press the wall switch here. Let me just go to next, and then I can do something. Let me add an action. So in the hall, I want my lights to turn on then, like that. So that's how simple it is. Next, I don't want to execute the action, but I want to enable it. Now I can select my demo room here to find the automation. It is right here. So if I want to disable the automation, I can press here. Now I want to enable it. If I want to play it, just to try it out, I can press the play button. If I press it here, then I can see in the information panel here how the automation has been set up. So I can very quickly see how the setup looks like. So it's, in my opinion, it's a very good overview and a very easy way to do different kind of automations. All right. I'll delete that automation again. So that's how simple it is to make automations. What you also can do is that you can make groups. Let me show you how to make a group. If I press the plus icon here, I can add a group. Let me give it a name. I will call it all plugs. Let's call it all plugs, just to do something. We can give it an icon. Let me do it like that. Select the room where you want to put in the group. Let me just put in the global. And from here, you can pick between 4 different categories like lights, relays, rollers, thermostats. So my plug is a relay. So let me use the plug. So sorry, relay. And now I get all rooms listed where I have plugs inside. So let me just find all of my plugs and add here. I don't want the network plug because I don't want to switch off that one, like that. So now I can see here all plugs, and I can see the green, the blue. Sorry, the blue icons means that the plug is turned on. The white means that it turns off. I don't want to press all off now because then I shut down my computer. But if I press right here, I can see which plugs is turned on and which plugs is turned off. I can control them individually and I can control them all at once. So it's quite simple. I will delete this again like that. Good. That's how easy it is to make a group to control lots of devices at the same time. I have done the same with thermostats. I've done the same with lights. Well, I didn't add any light, but I could do it. Let me see. I also have the overview of all of my devices right here. And we have the alarm function. So let me just show you how we can make a very simple alarm function. So you can kind of split up your areas where you want to have alarm zones. So this could be alarm zone, ground, floor, something like that. Press next, and then I just need to enter or select which devices I want to include in my alarm zone downstairs. Yes, like that. And then I can specify which message I want to receive on my phone if the alarm is activated. I think this is good. And now I can disarm it just by pressing this one and see here the status of all of the rooms. If there's motion, if there's no motion, if the door is open or closed in this alarm zone. So it's actually quite easy to do. Let me delete this alarm zone again. Good. Is there anything that I have forgotten to show? Yes, there's one more last topic. I want to show you how to make a heating or cooling setup. So let me go to the office. You can see it's pretty hot in here. It is 33 degrees according to my wall display here. According to my motion sensor, it's 29 degrees. Yeah, that's pretty hot in here. Let me try to make a thermostat function. So when you're inside the room where you would like to add the thermostat function, you press on the thermostats right here. You can see that I already have two different thermostats. Let me delete one of them probably because I'm using this as an example when I have these webinars. Press the plus icon here. And now I would like to give it a name. I will call it underfloor heating office. And I will obviously select my office as the room where I have this thermostat. Now I need to pick if I want to heat or cool. I want to heat. And now I need to select if it's a normally open or normally closed device. So my telestats that is controlling my underfloor heating is normally closed devices. So let me pick that. And go next. Now I need to select the relay, which is controlling my underfloor heating. I've already installed it, so that's my underfloor heating, my Shelly Pro 4 PM that is controlling that. So pick that one. And then I need to add a sensor to report the temperature of the room. Let me go to the office, and here you see that I actually have three different sensors inside. So I want to pick my plus HNC device to report the temperature in the room. And now I end up at the last here. I can add my schedules, and I want to have 22 degrees inside my room as a base temperature. And now I can add the intervals, and I want Monday to Friday from 7 o'clock until 17 o'clock to have 22 degrees. And now I can add another interval. So for example, from let me see here, 17 until 7 in the morning, I would like to have 19 degrees. Save interval. Now I have two different intervals, and if you scroll down, you can see the intervals right here. Press save, and that's it. Now I have my heating schedule right here, and I can just choose between different heating schedules. So you can add multiple schedules if you want to, and just pick between the ones you would like to use. And manually, you can adjust the target temperature here if you want to do that as well. So that's pretty nice and pretty easy, and it works very good in my opinion. All right. I think that this webinar is about to come to an end. Let me just change my screen once again. here. That's my PowerPoint. All right. The last slide I have is here showing some links that might be useful for you. So the link to the Shelly browser app, the link to the Shelly support group, the official group. I think we have around 70,000 members, and our owner Dimitar and a lot of our own guys are active every day, answering your questions, giving information about new upcoming devices, new features, and so on. So if you're interested, I would suggest you to join this group. There's also a Danish group because I'm using the same slide for the Danish team. We have a YouTube page. We have a support ticket. So if you have support questions, you can go there, add your ticket. You can also just send an email directly to me, and I will do whatever I can to support you. We have the FAQ. We have the webhooks, the Shelly.guide, where I'm writing personally a lot of different guides. I will just quickly show you that maybe before we end the session. I forgot that. We have the API documentation right here. We have the Shelly scripting examples, and we have a lot of different wiring diagrams right here. So if you go to that, you can find a lot of different wiring diagrams, not just standard ones, but also how to connect sensors and a lot of other different kind of things. Let me just quickly show you what I'm working on. So this is a personal project, so not supported really by the headquarter, but this is something I do in my spare time. Because very often I get questions about how to do this, how to do that. So if you go to Shelly.guide, I'm trying to write my own guides to you. So I have the webhook guides, I have some application guides and app guides. So you can see here all of the guides I really would like to add. So they're not all done. Only a few of them is ready. This is a new project. But if I go to, for example, the webhook guides right here, you can get a quite good guide of how to use the webhooks, how to go in and enter it, how to understand the webhooks, the HTTP commands, how to. If you scroll down to the bottom, I have added most of the most common webhook requests right here. So it's easy to just copy paste, modify the IP address of the device, and then you're up and running. And yeah, trying to add more and more guides. So if you need something specific, write to me and I will see if I can make a guide for you. There's also a guide for lighting control, for example, here. So 2 different solutions, how to make them direct wire, how to make wireless lighting control, how to select the right button type, how to a lot of different kind of things. So just some information if you like that. Well, I think